All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to try to predict every NBA team's win total using over-unders. Of course, every year now with the sports betting and stuff, they have over-under props. Over this amount of wins, under this amount of wins. And I'm going to be trying to predict the over and under for every team here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining how you can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. All right, we're going to start with the Atlanta Hawks. And by the way, I'm using FanDuel for all these. I looked at FanDuel's over-unders, and this is what the prop I'm using, but I'm sure a lot of different websites have a lot of different things, but we're going with FanDuel here for today. So we'll start with the Atlanta Hawks. They're over under. They have 36 and a half wins is their over under. Also have a little reference for last year's season. So I have last year's standings up here as well, just so I can get a good gauge of it. Last year they won 36 games. They made a lot of changes in the offseason. I'm going to go with the over. I don't know. I'm going to go over 36, so about 37 more than 37 wins this season. They don't have DeJounte anymore. It's Trae Young running the show again. And honestly, I have okay. I don't want to say confidence, meaning like I think they're gonna be a playoff team, but I did my standing predictions, which if you want, you can go back and look at those standing predictions. But I think Atlanta could be a cool 39 to 43 win team. That's what I think. They're going to be around the average in the NBA. I think they're going to be between 39 and 43. So I think 36 and a half, I think that's a really, really good, confident over for me. Like I think Trae Young is going to have a big season. Jalen Johnson has been really, really good. I mean, they have some really good things on the team. They still have Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdan Bogdanovic. We'll see if Zachary Rasashe can bring anything to this team. But I think Atlanta should be good enough for around a 39 to 43, that type of win season. So I'm going to go with the over on the Hawks. Next, going with the reigning champs, the Boston Celtics. They have the highest bet, obviously, at 58 and a half wins. Last year, they were the best team in the league. They won 64, and 58 and a half, that's a lot of wins, but then it's Boston Celtics. I'm going to go with the over. Very slight over, though. I think they probably going to get 59, maybe 60 wins. I don't think it's going to be an insane over, but it's too hard to not pick the over for the Boston Celtics. I mean, again, they won 64 games last year, and they're bringing back basically the same exact team. So why would I not think that they can do that again and win another 60, have another 61 season? Even though Porzingis is probably going to miss a lot of time early in the year, they showed last year, especially in the playoffs, that even without Porzingis, they were still really, really good. They still have guys like Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Xavier Tillman. Like they'll be fine as long as they have Tatum, Brown, Drew, Derek White. They'll be okay. So I think this is over. Not a crazy over. I don't think they're going to win 65, 66, but I do think 59, 60. I think that's probably what they're going to be. So I'm going over for Boston. Next, we're going with the Brooklyn Nets. They're over under. They have 19 and a half. Last year they won 32 games, but of course now no Mikal Bridges. Looks like they're going into a rebuild, a lot more younger players, and they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. 19 and a half. I'm going to go with the over, though, on Brooklyn. A slight over, though. I'm not saying 25. I would guess maybe about 22, 21, 22 in that range. So it's a slight over, but still an over. I think Brooklyn has a potential to win a couple games this year. Cam Thomas, of course, has the ability to explode and go off for 35 points or something like that, and they could probably win those games. And they still, at least for the first half of the season, have some decent role players. Guys like Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton. Guys that maybe if they catch another team lacking or another team is resting some of their guys, they can come in and sneak out a win. So I don't think they're going to be horrible, but I do think they're going to be pretty bad. By 19 and a half, I'm going to go with the very slight over. Next, we're going with the Chicago Bulls. They have their over-under at 28 and a half. I feel like this is a very, very good number. Like, it's going to be tough because legitimately, I think 28 wins is probably perfect for this Bulls team. But you know what? I'm going to go with the under, my first under. Very, very slight under, though. Like, honestly, probably 27. Between 26 and 28 is where I project for them. They obviously probably can win 30, 31, especially with that point, the place they are in the Eastern Conference, or that team, they're around like the Hornets and the Pistons. Like, definitely can win a couple games like that just because they have Zach LaVine, could pop off in a big game. But I'm going to go with the very, very, very slight under, like 27, maybe even 28 wins this season. I just think this is the year for the Bulls that they should just go all in the youth development. Go on in the youth, play the youth. I don't think they're going to be a very very good team this season, but they have some fun things for them, which is good. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the very slight under on Chicago. Next, going with the Charlotte Hornets, they have their odds at 31.5 wins. Honestly, I'm going with the over kind of comfortably. Now, I think this all depends on if the Melo Ball stays healthy. If the Melo Ball has a healthy season, I think they're definitely over 31.5 wins. If you watch my standing prediction video, I had the Hornets being a play-in team, and I think they definitely could be. I think they could definitely be a 37, 38, almost close to 40 win season. I think they could. If LaMelo stays healthy, we know that they're a lot better of a team. Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Trey Mann now there, Mark Williams, he stays healthy, Josh Green. Like, they have a very solid team, especially at this point in the Eastern Conference. And with Charles Lee, like, I don't know. I'm becoming a fan kind of this Hornets team. I like what I'm seeing. I like this roster for Charlotte. So I think if LaMelo Ball has a healthy season, I think definitely they can get the over on this 31.5. Next, going with the Cleveland Cavaliers, their odds they have them at 48.5. I feel like this is a very, very tough one. I feel like 48 is kind of like the perfect number for Cleveland. And like, I don't know. I think at the point they're going to be in the East, the middle of the East, where it's like 4 through 8. I honestly feel like this year could be a year where 4 through 8 is literally like one game in between each other. Kind of like last year, had like 6, 7, and 8 were all like the same. Like this could be a year where 4 through 8 literally is all like 1 or 2 games in between each other in the middle of the East because all those teams are like really good and they're going to be beating up on each other. So 48.5 is very, very tough. Last year, they won 48 games. And that was with a lot of injuries as well. Like their starting five didn't really play a whole lot of games together, you know. Now injuries, we don't know what's gonna happen with injuries and all that stuff this year. Right now, all of them are healthy, and if they're all healthy, they are a very, very good team. Especially what we're seeing in preseason so far with the new offense and stuff. But then again, you're in the middle of the East where it's like I feel like they're all gonna be 1 or 2 games in between each other and all that stuff. So 48.5 is gonna be very, 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 very tough. If I could pick, if it was 47.5, I would go with the over on 48. But 48.5 is very, very tough. But it's really hard. I still don't even know what I'm gonna pick, honestly, for over and under. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the under, but very, very, very slight. Literally, I think they're gonna win 48 games. I think they can repeat their record of 48 and 34. Not because they're the same team, but just because again that middle of the East with them, Philly, Indiana, Orlando, like they're all just gonna be, I think, beating up on each other. And again, you got to consider the top of the East as well, where you have Boston is going to win a lot of games, New York is going to win a lot of games, Milwaukee has the potential to win a lot of games. So it's like Philly, depending on if they're healthy or not, could win a lot of games. So you got to take everything into account. But for Cleveland, I'm going to go with the very, very, very slight under, like 47, 48 wins. Now, I won't be surprised if they get to 49, maybe 50. But for me personally, I'm going to go with the very slight under. Next, we got the Dallas Mavericks. They have them set at 49.5. Last year they won 50 games. They made it all to the finals. I personally believe they got better. I'm gonna go with the over, very slight over. I think they probably repeat the same. I think they can win 50 games again, maybe 51, 52. But I'm gonna go with the slight over. I think they could be another 50-win team this season. I mean, we have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You're gonna win a lot of regular season games. Add in if Klay Thompson has a couple games where he gets hot. Now they're gonna have PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford for the entire season instead of for like 2 months. So that should also increase their win total as well. So I think definitely I'm gonna go with the over on this. Not a crazy amount, but I will hit the over on Dallas. Next we have the Denver Nuggets. They have their set at 50.5. Last year they won 57 games. Now obviously they lost KCP. There's a couple things going on. They're relying on a lot more young players and all that stuff. They brought in Russell Westbrook. So 50.5. I think that's a good number, but I'm gonna go with the over. Very slight over though. I think they'd probably be 52, 53, maybe 54 win season. I think they're still a 50-win team, absolutely. Especially as long as they have Nikola Jokic on the court, they're gonna win a lot of games. And then add in Jamal Murray, have a game here or there, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. They still have that four right there, and then yeah, like they still have those four. I feel confident in them. So I'm gonna comfortably say with the over 50 wins again this season. I'll probably go around 52, 53, 54 wins, that type of season. Because in the regular season, as long as they have the Jokic, they're gonna win a lot of games. Next, got the Detroit Pistons. They have their set at 25.5. Last year, obviously, they're the worst team in the league. They won 14 games last year, but preseason, they have actually looked like a really confident basketball team, and it's making me kind of believe in this team. This is kind of tough because 25 and a half, I feel like is a really good number. Like, obviously, this is one of those where if it was 24 and a half, I would go with 25, but it's 25 and a half. That means I think they're going to increase by 12 or more wins, which is very, very tough. But then again, they were so bad last year that it's only up from here. But the thing is, how confident am I in saying I believe they're going to be a 26, 27, almost double their wins from last season with this young team? They have looked good in preseason, but then it is preseason. We never know what can happen. So it's going to be very tough, especially they're in a division where they have to play the Bucks and the Cavs and the Pacers 4 times. So we got to take that into account as well. 25 and a half is very, very tough. But you know what? I'm going to go with the over. Very slight, though. I think 26, 27 is in range. I'll go with like 26, 27 wins. So I'm going to go with the very, very, very slight over. But yeah, I really like what I've seen from Detroit this season. Other than preseason so far, they look like a competent basketball team. There's some good things about them. I think they're way better than the Wizards and the Nets, honestly. So that's why I think they're going to win a couple more games. Honestly, they could sneak up on surprise some people and maybe steal some wins that we don't expect. So I'm going to go with the slight over on the Detroit Pistons. Next, I have the Golden State Warriors. They have their set at 43 and a half. They won 46 games last year. We also have to take in account Klay Thompson's not here anymore. A lot of teams in the West got better. The top of the West is going to be very, very tough. Their division is kind of open, though, with Phoenix, the Lakers, the Kings, Clippers. We don't know. Like, their division is kind of open. There's going to be a lot of tough games. They have Steph Curry. 43 and a half is a very good number. But you know what? I'm going to go with the under. Slight under, though. I think probably going to be a 42 and 40 team. 42, maybe 41 and 41. That type of season, only because they do have Steph Curry, which means they're going to win a lot more games, or which means they're going to win a lot of games just because they have Steph Curry on their team. But ultimately, looking around, I don't think the roster's horrible, but just looking at the rest of the Western Conference, there's a lot of teams that I think I'm taking over the Golden State Warriors. So that's why I have them kind of lower at like 42 win, maybe 42 and 40. So maybe even 43 exactly. So I'm going to go with the very slight under. I won't be surprised if they go over, maybe a 45 win team, but I'm going to go with the very slight under. Next, we have the Houston Rockets. They have their set at 42 and a half. That's another really good number. Last year, they were 41 and 41. The young talent only going to get better, but the Western Conference also has gotten better. And in my standing prediction, I have the Warriors slightly above the Houston Rockets, and 42 and a half. That's very tough. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to go with the under. Very slight, though. I think they could probably repeat the same record as last year. I think they could be another 41 and 41 team, or maybe get exactly 42 and 40. But I don't know if I can put them 44. I can't. I want them to. I think that would be really, really nice to see. But again, I also think the Warriors are going to, make the play-in over the Rockets. So I can't have that kind of, I can't be contradiction like that. So I'm going to have to go with the very slight under, though. I am very excited to see the Houston Rockets this season, though. And I would love to see them win a lot more games and be a play-in team because I think that would be really, really fun to see. But I'm going to have to go with the very slight under. Next, the Indiana Pacers. They have their set at 46 and a half. They won 47 games last year. They're a very high-powered offense, so that means they're going to win a lot of games in the regular season. Pascal Siakam now has a full offseason. He's going to be integrated in there. But just like I said with the Cavaliers earlier, I think that middle of the Eastern Conference is going to be very tight, like literally one game in between each other. I'm going to go with the over on Indiana. Very slight, though. I think they're probably going to be they're probably going to keep the same record. Maybe it'd be a game better, 47, 48 wins. So I'm going to go with the slight over. I'm not going to go higher because, again, I think that middle of the East is literally going to be separated by like a game. It's going to be like 48, 47, 47, 46. I think it's all going to be tight like that. But Indiana, they have the high-powered offense, all that, where they maybe can go over and surprise a lot of people. So I'm going to go, I'll go with 47, 48. So I'm going to go with the over. Next, going with the LA Clippers. Clippers, they have them projected at 35 and a half wins. Last year, they won 51 games. But, of course, Paul George is gone. Kawhi Leonard, we don't know what's going to happen with there. They have kind of a whole new team now, basically. James Harden's going to be leading the way in 2024. And if you watch my Western Conference standing prediction video, I had the Clippers missing out on the play-in. 35 and a half, I think that's a really good number because honestly, I think they probably could be a 38, 39 win team, but also I can see it going both ways. I can see them being a 39, 40 win team and being just missing out, but I could also see this kind of blowing up in their face and then being like a 31 win team, and things just don't really go well. I can literally see both ways. So I think 35 is like a perfect number right there. It's really really hard because again, it's also got to think it is the Clippers still, and they've always had injuries, but Ty Lue has always found a way to make things work. But the thing is, I don't know how comfortable I feel with them trying to make things work with this team, where it's James Harden and Zubac running the way, and with no Kawhi Leonard, and with a very tough Western Conference that's only getting better and better, and you have legitimately like 12, 13 teams that can be in the play-in. I just don't know how much. Like I want to say the over because I think they can definitely get to 37 wins without Kawhi Leonard. And we don't know if Kawhi's out for the season. Like Kawhi could come back and play a little stretch, and they can win a couple games that way. But I just don't know how confident I am with that. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the slight over. I'm gonna go like 37 wins. I'll go like 37, 38. I'll go around that type of wins. Yeah, I'll go like 37, 38 type wins. I definitely can see them going under, and honestly almost pick the under. But I'll go with over on the Clippers. I'll believe in Ty Lue. I don't believe in James Harden that they can win a couple more games than that. Next, we have the Lakers. They have them projected at 42 and a half. Last year, they won 47 games. Again, this is a very tough Western Conference, and I think the way they're going to be in, they're probably going to be in the play-in again. But last year, they're in the play-in at 47 wins. So it's going to be very, very tough. But 42 and a half, I'm going to go with the over. I'll go with the over. I'll probably project 43, 44 wins, very slight over. They brought back the same team. LeBron and AD are still there. JJ Redick's new offense. I think they probably could be a slight over. Yeah, I'll comfortably, well, maybe not comfortably, I don't know. But I'll think 43, 44, maybe even 45 wins is pretty solid. This Western Conference is so tough because I'm probably going to say a lot of overs for the Western Conference, but it's really hard to not pick overs on some of these teams just because I think this Western Conference could be one where it's like I mean last year if you won 46 games you were a 9 seed. Like that's crazy. Like the Warriors and Kings were 46 wins and they were the ninth and 10th seed. Like that's just how insane the Western Conference was. So I think it could be very similar where like the Lakers can win 44 games but they can still be a 9 seed. Like I think that's what it's going to be this year. So I'll go with the over on the Lakers. Next, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. They have them projected at 46 and a half wins. Last year they won 27, but now everybody's back. This one honestly is probably one of the hardest ones for Memphis because we don't know. Like, of course, last time we saw them, they were a 50-something win team, but the Western Conference is severely different. They had a year off where they didn't play together for a year, so I can't expect them to come back right away and be a 50-something win team again. I'm not going to put that expectation on them. 46, though, was a really, like, literally, if it was 45 and a half, I would go over and hit 46. So like this 46 and a half is a very, very good number, in my opinion. I feel like 47 or 46 is very tough. I also got to think of where I put them in the West. I had them as a 7 seed in the West, and I don't know if you could be a 49 win team or something like that. It's a 7 seed. It's 40, yeah, 46 and a half. This is a really good number, honestly. 46 and a half is really, really good. Because I can see them being a 47, 48 win team, but I also see them being 44 and 45, you know? But you know what? I'm going to go with the over. Very slightly. I'm going to go like 47 wins. Like literally a half game over. I think 47 and 35 is like a perfect right thing for the Grizzlies. If I had to predict, I would go 47 wins. So I'll go with a very, very slight over on Memphis. Again, I'm not going to put high expectations on Memphis this season because, this, again, they missed an entire season. So I'm not going to come right away and expect them with this new Western Conference to be a 50-something win team again. If they do, that's really amazing. That just shows how great they are. But I'll go with the slight over at like 47. Next, got the Miami Heat. They have their set at 43 and a half. They won 46 games last year. Again, I think they're going to be in that middle Eastern Conference tier where it's going to be very, very tight. 43 and a half, I think it's a solid number. They're kind of bringing back the same team as last year. They're going to have Terry Rozier for a full season now. Hopefully, guys like Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, maybe even Khalil Ware could contribute and help. If they have a locked in Jimmy Butler for the regular season, which what it seems like could happen, that could be really good. 43 and a half is tough, but I'm going to go with the over. I'll go like 44, 45 wins. I think they're probably going to be a 44, 45 win team. So I'll go with the slight over on that. I believe that Miami, I think they have to have a really good regular season. I don't know how much I can trust them over teams like Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana, stuff like that. But, I think they'll be they're right beneath them. So I think 44 is like a good number. So I'll go with the slight over. Next, going with the Milwaukee Bucks. They have them projected at 49 and a half. I don't know why, but to me, this is an easy over. Like they won 49 last year. I think they are going to win I think they're going to be a 50-win team this season. I do. I believe they're going to be a 50-win team this season. Giannis is going to be more locked in, hopefully. I don't know. They have diverse for velocity. I don't know. Just for me, I saw 49 and a half, and I was like, oh, easy over for me personally. Maybe it's just that I personally think the Bucks are going to come out with a better, they're going to come out with a fight this season. Of course, that's not guaranteed, obviously. But I don't know. For me, like I just think 49 and a half. I think that's just over. I think they're mostly going to be a 50-win team. I think they've always been a 50-win team or something with Giannis. I mean, despite last year, obviously. But I don't know. I think 50 wins is easy for them. So I'll go easy over. Next, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have them projected at 51 and a half. They won 56 games last year. Of course, they made the trade, the cat trade for Julius Randle and all that. But I'm still going to go with the over. I still think they're probably going to be a 53, 54 win team. As long as they have Rudy Gobert locking up the paint and they have Anthony Edwards on offense doing his thing, they're going to win a lot of regular season games. I project them as number 2 seed in the Western Conference again this year. Actually, no, they were 3 last year, but I've checked them number 2. I think this is almost an easy over as well. Like I think 51, 52 win. I think that's just like yeah. Like I honestly think they're probably going to be a 54 win team this year. Like I think they're going to be really, really good again. So yeah, over for me. Next, going with the New Orleans Pelicans. They have them projected at 45 and a half wins. Last year, they won 49 games. They brought in DeJounte Murray. They don't have big men play, you know? Uh, I don't know. But to me, that's another one that I feel like is an easy over. Like, my West Coast prediction had them as a number 6 seed. I think they're probably going to be a 47, 48 win team this year. That's what I think. I think they're going to be a 48 win team. I think they're going to be a good regular season team, especially I'm believing in Zion having a big year this year. I believe in Zion having an All NBA type of season with Dejounte there. Like I think they have a lot. Now this could go bad, and they could be another 43 win team. And with this team, you never know when injuries are going to strike with this team. They always do, but we never know when. But I don't know. For some reason, I have a lot of confidence in this Pelicans team in the regular season specifically. So over 45 and a half, I don't know. For me, I think that's almost another very easy over. Next are the New York Knicks. They have them projected at 53 and a half wins. They won 50 games last year. 53 and a half is a really good number. Like if it was 52 and a half, I would go with over, but I'm going to go with the slight under. Finally got an under in there. I'm going to go with slight under. Again, I think they're probably going to be a 52, 53 win season. I think there is a possibility, obviously, that they can win a lot more games than that with the team they have with Jalen Brunson, Cat, Mikhail, OG, and all that. But I don't know. I just personally feel like, I don't know. I think 54, 55 is a lot of wins for the Knicks. But I think 52, 53, I think is a really good number. So I'm going to go with the very, very slight under on New York. Next, got the OKC Thunder. They have them projected at 57 and a half wins. They won 57 games last year. They got better. I think this has to be an over. Like, I honestly think they probably can get to 60 wins this year. They're going to miss Isaiah Hartenstein for the start of the season, but that's okay because they still have a really good team. They still have Shea, J-Dub, Chet, Caruso, Dort. They have a really good team. They should probably be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They have potential to have the best record in the NBA, 57 and a half. I feel like it's not easy, but I feel like I'm confident in saying I think they probably can win more than 58 games this year and maybe be a close to 60 win, maybe even more than 60 win season, depending on how they go. But I think 57 and a half, I'm going with over. Next, I have the Orlando Magic. They have them projected at 47 and a half wins. They won 47 games last year. Like I said earlier with the Cavs, the Pacers, the Heat, all that, they're in that middle of the Eastern Conference. I think is going to be really tight and is really going to be like literally tied or one game in between each other. 47 and a half is a really, really good number, in my opinion. I'm going to go with the slight under because I think they probably can be a 47 win team again. Like, and not because I think they're the same or I don't think they got better, because I think they did get better with KCP. But again, just because the place they're in the Eastern Conference, like, it's so close that I think you win 47 games, you're going to be in the same spot at like 5, 6, 7, which I think Orlando's going to be in that 5, 6, 7 because the top of the East is really, really good. And then you have the middle of the East that's just really solid and have all really good teams in there as well. So I think Orlando's only, it's going to be one of those seasons where record wise it might be the same, but they're still going to be a lot better. And they're still going to be a very, very tough team that you're really going to want to watch and cannot sleep on at all. So I'm going to go with the slight under because I think they're probably going to have the same record as last year. Next up, the Philadelphia 76ers. They have them at 49 and a half wins. They won 47 games last year. They made all these changes. They brought in Paul George. A lot of good bench pieces. Like, I really, really like their roster. 49.5 though is very, very tough because Joel Embiid. We already know Joel Embiid's not going to play a lot of back to backs. They're not going to rush him through this season or anything like that. And also it's the first year together with Paul George and Aaron. I don't want to, there's high expectations obviously, but I also think they kind of understand and know that the regular season for the Sixers doesn't really matter anymore. Like they honestly can be a playing team again, or a 46-win team. It doesn't matter. Like as long as they have Joel Embiid on the court and healthy for April, they're gonna have a chance against anybody in the Eastern Conference. So that's why I kind of want to go with the under on them because I feel like they kind of know. Like obviously they want to do good in the regular season and want to have home court advantage and all that stuff. Especially now with this new team, they want to kind of get chemistry in the regular season. But I don't think regular season is a make or break for them. Like if they don't win 55 games, I don't think it's like, oh man, we didn't get the 1 seed. Like I don't think it really matters anymore what they do in the regular season. You know. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the slight under. I'm gonna go with like 48, maybe even 49 wins. They obviously can win 50 games. They have the talent to. But again, I don't think Joel Embiid's not gonna go. I don't. They're gonna set Joel Embiid back to backs. Like I just don't think they're gonna go super hard in the regular season. Especially with the Eastern Conference, how tough it is. I think they're gonna lose some games sometimes, but you know what? I think that's okay because I don't think they really need to go super try hard in the regular season. So I'm gonna go with a slight under. I'll go at like 48, 49 wins. Next is the Phoenix Suns. They have their set at 48.5. They won 49 games last year. New coach. I honestly kind of like the Phoenix Suns, and I'm kind of talking myself more and more into the Phoenix Suns as the offseason went on, and then the preseason, I like what I saw from them. 40.5, I think it's a very good number again. They won 49 last year. You would think they're going to get better, but then again, the top of the West is so tough. Like OKC, Denver, Minnesota. Like, I think that there's going to be so tough to beat that I think, honestly, they probably can have a worse record, but still look better. You know what I mean? Like, and Phoenix, I think again it's tough, but they also do have Mike Budenholzer, who always, his pedigree is regular season wins. Like you're gonna be a 50-something win team. So you know what? I'll go with the over for Phoenix. Very slight though. I think 49. I think maybe they could be a 50-win team this year. Again, like I said, it's tough at the top of the Eastern Conference. Like I think Denver, Minnesota, OKC are gonna have so many wins. So I won't be surprised if Phoenix does have a similar record, or maybe even a worse record than last year, even though they look better on court. But you know what? I'll believe in Boonholzer. I believe in this team. I'll go with the slight over. I'll go at 49 wins, maybe 50-win season. Next, we got the Portland Trail Blazers. They have their set at 20.5. They won 21 games last year. They're the worst team in the Western Conference. I'm be honest, man. I'm sorry. I'm going under. I'm going under, which is crazy to say about 20.5. I'm going under. Portland, they're bad, but also the Western Conference is so crazy, especially with all these teams I think are going to be 44, 43 wins. Someone's going to have to be the punching bag of the West, and it's going to be the Portland Trail Blazers. They're going to be the punching bag of the Western Conference. Honestly, I think they probably could be a 17-win season team this year. Like, that's how bad I think the Blazers are compared. Again, all this compared to the Western Conference. Like, they're going to be in the same division as teams like, OKC, Denver, Minnesota, all that I think are going to be probably the top 3 teams in the Western Conference. You know, I'm sorry, they're gonna have to be a punching bag. There has to be one. There has to be one, and I think it's probably gonna be the Portland Trailblazers or 20.5. Give me the under. I think probably about 17, 18 wins. Next, got the Sacramento Kings. They have their set at 46.5. They won 46 games last year. The Western Conference again is really tough. I am a believer though. I really do like this Kings team. I really do. I really believe they can maybe exceed expectations. They have the recipe to potentially. 46.5 though is a really, really good number. You know what? I'm gonna go with the under slightly because I think they're gonna win 46 games. I think 46 is gonna be the thing, which is tough because they did that last year and they added DeMar and they're still gonna be the same. But I think that's only a testament to how crazy the Western Conference is. So I think 46, and especially how tight the Western Conference is, like they could be 46 wins but still be an 8 seed. Which I projected them to be an 8 seed this year. I do think they're gonna have a really good regular season and have some good moments, and I honestly think they can. If they go over, I'm not gonna be super surprised at that. But I think 46 is such like a perfect number for them. I'm gonna go with the slight under. Next, the San Antonio Spurs. They're projected at 35.5. They won 22 games last year. They brought in Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes. I love their additions. 35.5 is a lot. That means I think they're gonna go 14 or more, win, or all that stuff. I'm gonna have to go with the under very slightly though. I think 33, 34, maybe even 35 exactly is a really good spot for them. I'm not gonna put too many expectations on the Spurs this year. Like the Western Conference again is really, really tough. I had them projected as a 13 seed, but I do think they're gonna be a lot better than Portland and Utah. We're gonna do in a couple minutes too. But I think 33, 34, I think is a good number for them. And I think that's good. I don't think they really need to rush right away and already be a 40 something win team right away with Victor Wembanyama. I think they have a little bit of time where this could be the year of development where it's like, all right, let me see some improvement. Let's see Wemby improve. Let's see everyone else around them, guys like, Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, Jeremy Song. Let's see them improve and them get better. And I don't think we have to rush anything right away. So I think I'm going to go with the slight under, though. I think 33, 34 wins, I think is a good season for San Antonio. Next, I have the Toronto Raptors. They're projected at 28.5 wins. Last year, they won 25 games. They're going to have IQ, RJ for a full off season. I like this Raptor team. Honestly, I'm going with the over. I think they're a 30-win team. Um, Now, the media day, I said in my Eastern Conference prediction video as well, the media day kind of turned me off a little bit with this Raptor team, where I got to lower expectations a little bit, but I definitely still think they're better than the Bulls, Bulls, not Hornets, the Pistons. Like, I think they're better than that. I think they're going to be around probably worse than the Hawks. So I think 32 wins. I think 32 wins at 33 wins, I think is very doable. Even more, maybe. I think they maybe even could sneak in at 36, 37, depending on how things go. But I think 20 and a half, I think that's an absolute over for me personally. Next, going with the Utah Jazz. They're projected at 27.5 wins. They won 31 games last year. The Western Conference is really, really tough for Utah, and they're always a team that I have very low expectations for, and then they come out all of a sudden and just outseed them for the first half of the year, and then they fall back the second half of the year. I don't know if they can do that this season with how tough the Western Conference is with teams like even the Spurs and the Rockets and all that stuff getting better. 27.5. I'm going to go with the under very slightly. I think probably 26, 27 games, I think is probably what Utah's going to do. I won't be surprised if maybe they go a little bit over and go like 29, maybe 30 wins, but because they always somehow find a way to exceed expectations. But I think this year the Western Conference is just so tough that I think it's going to be just like this is going to be the year they're going to be kind of not as good as the last couple of years. So I think 26, 27 wins, I think, is like what I can see for Utah. So I'm going to go with the very slight under. And finally, we have the Washington Wizards. They're projected at 19.5 wins. Last year, they won 15 games. I'm be honest, man. I'm going with the under. I'm going with seven. I'll project 17 wins for the Washington Wizards. They're going to be very, very bad this year. They're going to be very, very bad. If I had to vote on who I think would be the worst team in the league, it's going to be the Washington Wizards. Going to have the worst record. They're really, really bad. Which again, I think is okay. They go out and go get that number one pick. Washington, do whatever you can because they desperately need it right now. But yeah, Washington going to be really bad. 19.5. It's crazy to go under on a 19.5, a team that's not even projected to win 20 games. But man, give me the under, man. Give me the under. I'm going with like 17. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know down in the comments below what your over-under is for some teams, what locks you have, maybe all that stuff. And also an announcement on Tuesday. Tuesday night, we're going to be going live on this channel. We're doing a watch along of the Lakers versus Timberwolves opening night game. So if you're around, you want to watch, come through. I'm going to be here talking through the game, giving analysis, watching it with you guys, just having some fun. So on this channel, we're going to be live Tuesday. I'll make a post about it in the community too, in the community post tab, explaining the time and all that stuff. So come through if you're around. And yeah, once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.